Hello, everyone, and welcome up to episode 370. We're only 30 away from episode 400. And before we get too much into this crazy episode, just throw out there that we saw some love given to us by our listeners on Stitcher. User B. Jason says, the concept isn't new and the guests that Nick used are interchangeable, but the weird drinking game and the intros alone always make me laugh before they get into the deep, geeky, probably too geeky analysis. Some of my favorite reoccurring guests are Kyle and Nathan. Look forward to their Last Jedi review. Well, B. Jason, I hope you heard our Last Jedi review. You can find it, if you haven't, at gbgpodcast.com or anywhere else podcasts can be listened to, like Stitcher and iTunes. And I hope that you enjoyed our Last Jedi review as well. I feel that compared to a lot of stuff out there, that our review could be dividing compared to what most people are saying. But not to say that we don't have our own critiques and whatnot, but give it a listen if you haven't already. And also, like B. Jason here, do you love having your name shouted out over the internet into a geeky podcast show? To be fair, B. Jason, I don't think knew that I was going to do that. I found it by pure accident, but I do want to do stuff like this. I want to say thank you to our fans who take the time. That only took B. Jason probably, I'm going to guess, maybe about not even a minute to do, which is just leave us a review. And I want to say thank you to him by just reading his review on the show and just saying, you guys, I would be more than happy to shout love to you guys in our geeky little podcast show, The Good, the Bad, and Geeky. And if that's something that you're interested in, well, you're in luck. All it takes is a review of our podcast. Head over to iTunes or Stitcher or anyone else you can think of. And if you give us a great review and say some stuff, we'll read it on the show. How rad is that? I think it's pretty damn rad. And if we don't say it on the air within, I would say, a month or two, give or take, be sure to email me at goodbadgeeky@gmail.com, point out where the review is, and say, hey, Nick, you're a freaking duty head, and you need to read off how awesome I said that you are, because I think you're awesome. And remember, people, if we're all winning, it's because we're all awesome. That makes no sense. So you know what? Take a drink. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, check out our drinking game, like B. Jason said. I do sometimes wonder regarding that, does that make a lot of sense? I feel like we're sending people on a rabbit hunt sometimes about the drinking game when I say that, but it's almost guaranteed every episode that I'm going to mess up something. I'm going to say something. I'm going to whatever. And it's also just a really great shorthand. I should probably put that in the show notes somewhere. You should take like 2 drinks right there because I couldn't get that word out. But all kidding aside, I really should put that on the gbgpodcast.com page. So anytime you click on a link to our fine program, so say, let's just go like right now, if we check out the most recent webpage and post, I should say, which I believe features the wonderful Amanda Iman. It's part 2 of our Isle of Dogs, our love fest, if you will, and then conversation about many, many other crazy geeky things. And you click on read more. It has tons of great stuff, how you can find us on iTunes, Android, Google Play, Stitcher, email, RSS feeds, and all that. There's show notes, just pretty much a rough idea of things we talked about, how you can support some of our guests, like Amanda Iman from Amanda's Picture Show Go-Go, which I'll talk about that here in a little bit. And, of course, show credits. But I should probably put somewhere in that area right there, like, hey, here's something about the drinking game. This is what you can do. All right. With that said, it's time to plug our other friends. Not you guys at home. You guys are our friends, but you guys are just as awesome. But I'm talking about the people who are very, very good friends of the show, the overall show itself, that are not listeners. Well, necessarily. You know what I mean. Wow, I'm just like digging a hole. So you know what? Take a drink for that. Mad Lab Theater has something that I think you'll dig coming up called Theater Roulette. In its 19th year, Central Ohio's longest running shorts festival, Mad Lab presents 3 very distinct nights of new works. The theme this year is past, present, future, rotating over 3 weekends, accumulating in the final day where all 3 nights of programming are performed in one day. So showtimes are 8 p.m. except for May 26th when they are 2, 4, and 8 p.m. So the show dates are Thursday, May 10th, Friday, May 11th, Saturday, May 12th, Thursday, May 17th, Friday, May 18th. I hit it. hit the microphone to take a drink, and Saturday, May 19th, Thursday, May 24th, Friday, May 25th, and then Saturday, May 26th. Tickets are $18 for general admission, $15 for students and senior citizens, and if you're a Mad Lab member, $13. And I gotta say, not only am I in the ensemble, but I'm also a Mad Lab member, so I get some really cool discounts on tickets. So you should join in on the fun. For more information, go to madlab.net. And if you want more information on the tickets themselves, go to madlab.net/tickets.html. For links on how to check out our other friends like Pack Rat Comics and go to our website under the show notes, that is over at gbgpodcast.com. Our official sponsor of the show is Audible. With over 200,000 titles to choose from, you get 30 days of membership free, plus a book to get you started. And then after that, it's 1 credit a month after your trial. Good for any book, regardless of the price. And it's ad-free premium audio that you can listen to online, no interruptions. So you get no yahoos like me saying, buy my book, buy my book. None of that. You own the amazing library. Whatever you buy with your credit or other books on top of that, you get to keep, even if you cancel your membership. And you also get 30% off an exclusive member-only savings. And you know what? Don't love a book? Swap it for free anytime. Guys, this is so simple. Easy exchanges. A credit a month, ad-free premium audio. It's awesome, right? Are you interested? Well, it's just as easy. All you got to do is, do you have an Amazon account? Sure you do. It's why Toys R Us and other places are going out of business, because you want to shop smart. You want to not leave the comfort of your home and get something of quality quickly. And I get it. I do. That's why Amazon Prime is awesome too. But sign into Audible with your Amazon account. Sign up for your free trial over at audibletrial.com/goodbadgeeky. Choose your free book, download the Audible app, and start enjoying the new audiobook of your choice. And last but not least, in terms of our friends, do you know that we are proud members of the It's All Been Done Presents Network? Well, speaking of the network, do you have a vague remembrance of Bare Naked Ladies from the late 90s and early aughts? If you do, then you're in good company. Join friends Evan and Saker as they hazily stumble through every single Bare Naked Ladies song 1 week at a time, from the first album to the last, driving themselves insane along the way. Which, I don't know, that kind of upsets me, so I want to find out what it's all about. So, do you know anything about BNL like Nick does? That's probably more than they do. Strap in for pet theories about vampires, retirement homes, murders, and more with It's All Been Done's A Bare Naked Ladies podcast. Check them out, along with all our programs that ABD presents. All right. Now, I owe some gratitude to today's silent partner, and I will mean that quite literally. For those of you who knew the scoop, all by just following me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, know pretty damn well how defeating the last podcast was recording-wise for almost 2 weeks. Now, first off, we had Amanda Iman on, who is from her podcast, Amanda's Picture Show, A Go-Go, and many others you can check out at amandaagogo.com, and we talked about A Wrinkle in Time. If you listen to the episode, though, you will know that the audio is not great. And due to a lapse on my end somehow, and I don't know how I did it, but the audio is not the greatest, and it makes me a sad panda. But nothing was as bad as when we had Erik Sternberger on. If you know Erik is usually on for the Star Wars episodes, and he's just a really great guy. And eventually, at some point, I hope you'll hear us on the RPG podcast that I'm throwing together. But again, you didn't hear that from me. Anyway, but we were both kind of looking forward to, at the time, Pacific Rim Uprising. And then we got together and we talked about it. But funny story about this particular episode is just in how it's recorded. I think we canceled the session 3 times before settling on our final date, because I try to schedule these podcast things months in advance, meaning I try to schedule these out best I can, because we're all busy people, about a month before. Actually, it's usually about 2-3 months before, especially for summer movies. And people sign up for them, and then once we have like 3 or 4 people, and sometimes I'll even take more, and then we'll kind of cut it off, and then we have people are booked for the show. I kind of need my own professional booker, you know what I mean? But I was stupid, and about a month close to the date, I realized that I overbooked for a rehearsal for Theater Roulette, which I am in, not only as a Mad Lab member, but also as a director, and something was interfering with that. And so I suggested another night, which he said yes to, and then he realized, you know what, no, that's a bad night for me now, and so on and so forth. And we switched it up about 3 separate times, and because it's surprising how much, people do things on Easter weekend. It's crazy, isn't it? Anyway, again, that's how kind of we were working hard. We scheduled it for Easter at one point, and again, we weren't paying attention that it was Easter weekend. It was just another Saturday in March. But I digress. Point is, we finally did record it, but not in person, which is weird. I don't usually do that. Erik if I remember correctly too, offered to record his audio from his end, and I said, "No, I got this. I've done this before. You guys heard out there the interview with Kevin Beagle, hoo hee ha ho ho. Take a drink. You know that I recorded that over the phone. And I recorded it over Skype and the phone with my iPhone, which is so literally I hooked up my audio equipment to my iPhone, and oh dear Lord, so." I even recorded a test call with a Skype test call system, and it picked it up just fine. So when I recorded the show, you hear nothing from Erik at all. Like, if you thought the Amanda podcast, which starts off, this is imagine I'm Amanda. Hello, I'm Amanda. Hello, 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 hello. Where it sounds like she's going in and out of the microphone. This is not like that at all. It's like, OMG, it's a one-sided conversation. Ugh. So, I thought, time-wise, it was great to hang out with my friend and talk to him. But I was like, oh my God, podcast-wise, this was a waste for Erik and I both, even though we just had a blast talking and hanging out over Skype. So it was a perk in that regard, but I was just so sad that we can't share it. And Erik one day pinged me. We're still kind of lamenting over it, about the great sadness that overhangs D4K Studios regarding it. And he just said, you know what? It'd be super funny if you just released the episode anyway. And after much thinking and then being super busy, not having enough time to do it, right here's the show. So yeah, I hope you enjoy best you can. And by the way, I'm not kidding when I say this. This is literally just me talking to Erik, but you can't hear Erik. It's an hour or so conversation, and I cannot make this up. This is the proof. And I also said I would plug Amanda for the Gaff with the Wrinkle in Time audio mix-up, and I meant that. You can check out her stuff at amandaagogo.com. And now I can throw Erik onto that list. So really, you guys just, my fellow guests and fans who are listening, if you ever want to be on the show and you have something to plug, make sure that somehow there's an audio gaff, and I'll plug the shit out of your stuff. So check out Erik's website. That's www.eriksternberger.com. That's BERG.com. Let me repeat that again because you should have taken a drink and I'm stupid. ERIKSTERNBERG.com. And I was explaining this concept to somebody else because they're just like, are you really going to do that? And I was like, yes. And I think the best way to describe it is, it's the good, the bad, and the geese at attempt at an art piece. Yeah, that's it. Think Garfield Minus Garfield. So here's me being John Arbuckle crazy in this episode where John Arbuckle discusses Pacific Rim Uprising with Garfield, but Garfield ain't there. And John Arbuckle, it me. Roll it! So, as you heard during that bit that was not cut out apparently, and then in the intro, we're talking about Pacific Rim, Pacific Rim 2, aka Pacific Rim Uprising, which is the sequel to the 2013 film Pacific Rim, directed and written by Guillermo del Toro. And this time it stars John Boyega, who else? Scott Eastwood. Yeah, which was he his former coworker, not coworker, but the former pilot of the Jaeger. Not Jake Pentecost is the son of Stacker Pentecost, who was Idris Elba in the last film. Who, if you've seen the films, if you haven't, I don't know why are you listening to this. First off, I don't understand the concept of that, but because this is a sequel. He died at the end of that movie, and it's kind of like, it's only like the first 10 minutes that he died, right, and it's also the first 10 minutes that they just kind of cram that down your throat, that, oh yeah, your dad's dead. Yeah, it was. Well, so, I guess we should start off with this, like, just a quick hit. What did you like the movie, or was it, like, how in comparison was it to the first one and just in general? Yeah, sadly we not. Yeah. Well, I think they were trying to keep the surprise, and so yeah. Again, spoilers. The surprise is that the kaiju are actually they've learned how to, and we'll get to more of this on how, but they found a way to actually create their own Jaegers and pilot them, and so I think that was maybe the surprise. And we talked about this on Facebook. The trailer made it look like the monsters can rebuild themselves bigger and badder. And of course, that's not actually what happened. There's some other stuff that goes on that kind of helped, that made the monster bigger. But yeah, it's bizarre, and I agree with that. I wasn't expecting the world building as much. I mean, yeah, the tone is different too. Is that like the scale of everything? Yeah, they're world building, but the scale feels a lot smaller somehow. And part of it, I think, is they focus on Pentecost and the dude of the guy from Sons of Anarchy. I can't think of his name right now from the first movie, but yeah, Charlie Hunnam. They focused on his character and Pentecost's daughter, adopted daughter. Yeah, she. But the scope of that one is like I felt like they fought monsters like all over the world in that one, and it's just mass scale destruction. But also, there's also kind of a personal story there too. Yeah. Yeah, she did. Yeah. Oh, was it only 2 in the first one? Night. Gotcha. Jin. Yeah, okay. Which, I mean, and that, again, night shots, they're easier for visual effects, and the cost is easier too. And I know that was a big thing with the last movie, is domestically it didn't do as well here, but it did huge everywhere else, and that's one of the reasons why we have a sequel. Yeah, which is kind of sad. I mean, I didn't hate the... Yeah, but I don't think Star Wars is as big in China, Well, I read an article saying that they look at the movie Black Panther, and they see, oh, this isn't a film that celebrates this, and that. We just see it as a film that celebrates American ideals. And, that's not... And I'm like, really? And I forget the person who reported it, they put it from their perspective. I was like, well, I guess so. I never thought... I would never look at that movie that way, but I guess in their eyes, yeah, it's true. So I wonder if Star Wars is something similar, but at the same time, it's still huge everywhere else, so I don't know. It's bizarre. It is. You would figure, yeah. But isn't that more Japanese than Chinese? Yeah, so, yeah. But... Yeah, they did. Oh, well, but she turns into the hero at the end a little bit, which is cool. Well, I mean, I kind of felt that there was some stuff that might have been cut out of that from her. That was the other thing, too. And I don't know how to explain this. Like, I tried talking to Sarah, because Sarah, my wife, has only seen the first Pacific Rim, and she doesn't really seen a lot of other Guillermo del Toro movies. And I feel like del Toro has a way of doing exposition, even in a film like Pacific Rim, where the characters say cheesy things, and the actors, it might sound cheesy out of context, but yeah, something like that, but it sounds really badass when you see it in context of the movie. And I felt like the problem for me in this one is, and nothing, because Stephen D. Knight I think he did the first season of Daredevil, and I've not seen, was it Spartacus, Blood, and whatever. Fun show. Well, and I heard that, and so I don't know if it's necessarily blaming him on this, but again, he's one of the credited writers, so I'm not sure if it's him, Emily Carmichael, Kira Snyder, or T.S. Nolan, or whoever, but I feel like Del Toro found a way to make that not cheesy, and this time, like, all the lines, like, you just are, in my back of my head, I'm going like, oh, this doesn't... Yeah, and I think that's something that kind of hurts the film, and I like Boyega, but I felt like the parts of the movie that bothered me is when he was trying too hard to be like action movie star cool, and when interesting, okay, ooh, I don't now see, this is where you and I disagree on that then, because I want him to be Harrison Ford. I'm fine with him doing that, but I felt like some of the stuff, like towards the end of the movie, once the Jaegers attack the base in China, his little quips and quos are fine. I don't feel like they weren't cheesy, or they just felt like they were okay. And the stuff with the little girl were okay, but I just felt like stuff around that, it was the ice. Oh, Actually, that was the okay. That was actually the first. That was actually the first scene where I didn't groan, or I internally didn't groan because I was like, because I felt he was a little bit more relaxed, or it's really weird because the stuff with the girl, he's trying to do it, but again, I feel like I don't know, it didn't bother me as much, but like during the intro, which did go on really long, and some of the quips or quotes, I was like, because he's still in narration mode, I was like, oh man, I feel like you're Jake Gyllenhaal in Sands of Time, trying to be like hit movie action star, and it wasn't working for me, but I didn't think he was bad in it. That's the weird thing. I kind of blame more the dialogue, and because I could also tell too when he would not do the script, because I listened to an interview with him on ID10T, or formerly Nerdist, and he so the best scene I can remember it from though is when he's with the girl after at the end of the movie they crash land on the mountain, they kill the Jaeger, and they kill the monster, the kaiju, and him and the girl are just throwing snowballs at each other, and his complete character tone of how the character talks is just like him, John Boyega, and I was like, oh, that's okay. I had no problem with it, and there's a few times when he does that, it's okay. But again, I think it's more the dialogue. I don't know, and I do like Boyega though. I do like Boyega. That's the weird thing. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that was surprising. Yeah, I did too. They didn't make him Iceman from Top Gun. Well, I felt like that's what they were trying to make you feel like that's where it was going to go. And then when they didn't do it, I was kind of relieved, though I still wanted to see, because usually in a movie like this, they do the flashback where you see what happened officially between them. And I kind of like that they... Oh, no, it really wasn't. Matter of fact, I think by the end they just said that I think he ran away or he got kicked out. Because the way they made it is that he just quit or ran away. And it's like, oh no, he got kicked out for trying to do a Jaeger by himself and it destroyed some stuff. And I was like, oh, that really isn't as big as you'd think it would be. Because at the time I was like, they're going to do the flashback. And at some point he's going to punch Scott Eastwood out. And then they're going to be bros again. And it's like, no, that doesn't happen. They share a weird sundae together and with sprinkles. Right, which is nice. Like, yeah, he really genuinely liked him and thought he was a good pilot, but he didn't live up to what he knew he could be, which was nice. Yeah. Yeah, that was I was a little bummed by that too. Well, yeah. Oh man, I like the. Well, also I felt like, and again, this was the bigger surprise for me in the movie was I missed there being more kaiju, but again, part of that was, and I think that I'm kind of glad that they didn't ruin that in the trailer, which is, and I think if they showed it, you're just like, oh, it's a new Jaeger. Excuse me, no, but you didn't think about it. You didn't think it would be the bad guy because they focused on that part of the final fight. Which again, I'm glad they did, but I was surprised about the Jaeger. As a matter of fact, I was like, oh my god, I don't think the kaiju are really going to show up. Are they just going to do a flashback of the that will be the Jaegers fighting the kaiju, and that's how he got kicked out? Because halfway through I was like, oh no, I just don't want to see Jaegers fighting Jaegers. That to me is kind of boring. I don't know why, but then I was like, wait, they are? Or then I was like, wait, what if they are kaiju? And then there's that freaky ass scene with Charlie Day's Newt doing it with Alice. And I was like, oh, God, no. Yes, which was way awesome, yeah. Yep, you're 100% right. Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah, I'll agree. I agree with that 100%. Which, to me, oh, man... And I know that they are going for more sequels, or that's how they ended. I don't know if they're going to get one. And if they do, again, it's kind of like, I feel like Pacific Rim and the movie Cars, they're similar in that locally, domestically, they don't do great. But everywhere else, like, internationally, they're money. And so if we get any sequels for this one, I think it'll be because of that. And I'm not going to lie, I do want to see where it ends. I am bummed because I loved Charlie Day's Newt character so much in the first film. And Del Toro did say, he's like, he will probably be the main bad guy through the series. I mean, when he did interviews, and that broke my heart. I was like, oh, give him a redemption, something, oh yeah, and was it Gottlieb? Got the Herman, yeah, which I thought was really cool. there is a great moment where he's like, Gottlieb goes to Newt and is like, hey, I need your help. And then he realizes, oh shit, you've been taken over by, was it the precursors? Yeah, they're taking over your mind. They're more in control than you are at this point. And he's choking him. He's like, I'm really sorry to do this. And he's about ready to kill him, and then he has to run away. Which, and I'm going like, oh, don't kill him either. Like, but I like that too, because Herman was known to be the lesser of the two scientists. And so they're building him up to actually, which I like that too. I thought it was really well done. And but again, I am kind of sad to see Charlie Day's character, because I like Charlie Day as part of it, and I liked his character. So that was one of those things I was like, oh, he's the bad guy. But I'm hoping, yeah, if they do more, they can do a redemption story or something. Like, he's still the bad guy, but like he does a Vader turn last moment and, no, gives them one last little push. But that's me projecting. I'm also fine with he just is straight up kooky nuts too, because he did a good job in this movie of that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right, which was really, because he looked up to them like the rock stars, and he was, him and Herman both were kind of fanboys, him more than Herman. That's right. See, that's one of the things I thought was really cool, is my wife really loved the first one, and that's one of the few films. Did she watch Uprising with you, or? I gotcha. No, I understand. By the way, can I just also point out that Movies Anywhere is stepping up their game? I bought a movie from Amazon Prime, and it just instantly showed up in my Movies Anywhere app. That's pretty boss. Because it shows up in my iTunes store purchases, which I'm like, that's awesome. Sorry, random side note. What? No. Oh my god. Oh, that is that's awesome. That's totally awesome. Okay, well, that's awesome to know. Do you know the website where you can get those, or is that like a need-to-know kind of thing? HD movie codes? Okay. Well, getting back to Pacific Rim, because I thank you, by the way, for that, because as a Godzilla fan, I really love that they included Mount Fuji. Because that was always something to do, not all the time, but in some of the more well-known Godzilla movies, especially when it's not Godzilla himself, like Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. Godzilla versus Mothra, or Godzilla versus the Thing, depending on which one you look at it. Whatever title, it's the same movie. I'm talking about the original, not the 92 version. The Mount Fuji is a huge part of that, or it plays a minor role. It's always included, like, because I think, was it Rodan is buried at the base of Mount Fuji. And actually, there's two Ghidorah movies. I think, was it Monster Zero, Godzilla's buried at the base of Mount Fuji. There's always something about Mount Fuji where, like, the major battle happens, or one of the monsters is sleeping there. Actually, I think in the original Rodan, I think it's like one of the subsets of Mount Fuji. Rodan was buried there too. And you're just like, oh, this is just a great little... And the thing is, Mount Fuji is one of the biggest mountains in Japan. So it's also like again, I don't know Japan that well, but I'm making the assumption of it's like major landmark in Japan as a mountain. You only have Mount Fuji. So maybe that is all they're doing, but I still love the shit out of it. I did enjoy that a great deal. Well, it's also produced by Legendary as well. Like, it's distributed by Universal, but Legendary is the one who's doing it. I mean, I do wonder how that would work, because if Universal is distributing Pacific Rim, that actually just matters about who makes the film. Like, yeah, Legendary is the main producer behind Godzilla, King Kong, and the Monsterverse. So I wonder, and I'm hoping that, well, Universal needs a win in the Monsterverse category, because I haven't seen The Mummy, but I heard it's horrible. And they did kill their Monsterverse outside of that, so... I'm sorry. To me, they're all monsters. So but officially I think they are calling it the Monsterverse for, like, the kaiju stuff, like Godzilla, King Kong. But yeah, the Dark Universe, which, in theory, good idea, but poor in execution. But he's got to karate chop that air, Eric. He's got to run. But, I mean, because he's so good at it, he can outrun a sandstorm. Surely he can outrun a mummy. Well, okay... Because I haven't seen it, did he end up becoming the new mummy by the end of the movie? Of the Mummy. I kind of figured... See, I guessed that just by watching the trailer. I was like, let me guess, he's dead, but he wakes up because he has the power of the mummy, but she, like, probably needs it to complete the rest of her powers or something. The first time he dies. Well, that's so, honestly, if you don't like Tom Cruise, maybe The Mummy is a good movie to see. Oh, that's true. And it is actually a fantastic movie. And I'm very interested to see what they're going to do with the sequel. Well, I just remember, okay, so was the title originally supposed to be Live, Die, Repeat? Or was it Edge of Tomorrow? I get it confused, because I thought, or All You Need Is, it's something, yeah. I just remember the movie came out in theaters as Edge of Tomorrow, and then it came out on Blu-ray DVD as Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow. And I remember there was some big brouhaha about what the name was always supposed to be versus what it was versus what it is now. All You Need Is Kill. So weird. Well, I mean, so do I. I will say, though, like, it is a good movie. And I know here's the thing, I can't shit on Cruise for The Mummy 100% because at some point, some of his choices are actually good choices for the movies he's in. Because a lot of people are like, well, you let Tom Cruise go too far. I was like, well, that might be, but his track record is rather good when it comes to this kind of stuff. Maybe not sci-fi, whatever, but, you know, like, I enjoy the Mission Impossible movies. I mean, I feel like, matter of fact, when the new movie comes out, I actually am really excited to see it. I'm kind of bummed Jeremy Renner's not in it, but what? No. Is it just the weight of the Marvel Universe kind of thing? It's just like, okay, yeah. Fair enough. I just want to see good endings first, because they have to be ending some of the characters. They have to be. So I do want to see, I hope to see something like that, but we'll see. So, yeah, by the way, Mako, who I think was that, is it Jang Tian, the actress, I think, I'm not sure. Rinko Kikuchi. Yeah, I was bummed that her character died too. That bummed me, actually. Oh, did they? Okay. Yeah, and oh man. Yeah. It's a file. Yeah, I kind of wish there was another character from the first movie that wasn't the scientist, because they're needed in different ways outside of her, that you could have, like, even if it was like a minor one, like they could, I felt it would have been way better to see them get sacrificed than her. What happened to the Charlie Hunnam character? Because I don't remember them saying anything about him directly, but I don't remember okay, well, didn't Mako work for the UN? Wasn't that part of her working with the PPDC or something? Okay, that's right. Yeah, like what happened? Like, they could have brought him back. Book names, yeah. Was it what? Yeah, but like, why they could have easily brought one of them back, or have something where it looks like the helicopter went down, and then as they're running to it, then it explodes, and you're like, oh wait, no, she's still alive, but barely. And, like, do a Leia to her, where she's out for half the movie, and then after they decode the file, and that's when she wakes up, and you're like, yay, the heart lives another day, and, yeah. See, and also, I wish they didn't get rid of what's-his-name, too, because he was still alive by the end of the movie, but again, Del Toro wasn't officially doing the movie directly. Oh, I can't think of his name, and I feel really... Ron Perlman. That'd be awesome if they bring him back in the next movie, Gottlieb does, to help him fight off Newt in his... I mean, they have Newt, but... Oh, but Perlman's really old anyway. I mean, no offense to... Yeah. Well, that's the thing, too. Sarah, like, I remember my wife really loved that character, too, and I was like, oh, she's not going to like him. I love Perlman, though, but then she's like, he was funny. I was like, oh, yeah, he was. And he survived the end, too. I thought he got ate by the kaiju, but he didn't. But, I mean, he did, but he survived. He lost his shoe or something. Or was it gun or shoe? I think it was his shoe. It was his shoe, yeah, because he dresses classy. Kind of like what Charlie Day does in the new movie. Yeah, which I thought was really, really cool. Well, anyway. Yeah. Jerk. For Boyega. And Boyega produced the film, too. Well... I listened to Nerdist, and he said that again, I didn't listen to all of it yet, but I'm halfway through, but he's talking about how his production company came in and he was involved with every step of the production once he came on board. But that's as far as we got into the interview. Me got with the interview. But he's like, yeah, it's like, how many people do you got in there? Oh, I have about 3 or 4. But yeah, I would have loved Charlie Hunnam in there or something. But oh yeah, he was doing, good choice, Charlie, King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. Okay, Wikipedia, that's what Wikipedia says currently. That's why I was reading that off. Yeah, because it says, a notable absence from the cast was Charlie Hunnam, who could not join the project because of his scheduling conflicts with King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. But, I mean, either or, then they're nuts, because that still wasn't a good choice. That's sad. I mean, dude, your passion project can wait. If you've waited this long, you can wait a little bit longer. I mean, because I'm going to... That's true. Touche. Well, wasn't that a holdback? Wasn't King Arthur a holdback from something else? Like, yeah, because it was shelved. Okay, why can't Guy Ritchie do good films that don't star Robert Downey Jr. anymore? Oh, jeez. Hello, Wikipedia, tell me more. Casting, filming, Excalibur, helmed by Bryan Singer, and then would have starred Kit Harington and Joel Kinnaman. I remember that casting. And then they shit-canned it. They don't say who the second director is. Fuck you, Wikipedia. For this endeavor, they hired a third director, Guy Ritchie, who himself attempted to make a King Arthur movie prior to that. Oh, stupid Wikipedia. Anyway, was Elizabeth Olsen in that too? No, she was originally cast in it as Guinevere. And then she got... But Jude Law's in it, and that's not a bad thing. I like Jude Law. He's usually good in Guy Ritchie movies. Well, anyway, that was a weird rabbit hole of Wikipedia-ness that just occurred. But yeah, I enjoyed Pacific Rim Uprising. Okay, so, by the way, the kaiju thing, we kind of lightly danced around it. So, Charlie Day's character is Newt. He's being controlled by the precursors the whole time. And he legitimately has been... True. But you kind of realize, too, that the precursor side of him has been slipping into the new Jaegers. The Shao Corporation is trying to do a drone program, which will kind of make the Jaegers obsolete. And that's right, which is really, really clever writing. And you realize that the backdoor into Charlie Day's Newt character led to the backdoor into all the drones, which was they're Jaeger brains. That then, when they get the command, they take over the whole body, and yeah, which was really, really cool and really awesome. And again, when you watch the movie, you're just like, oh geez, it's just someone build another, because that's the thing that's kind of nice too, they world build on, which is all the people are building their own Jaegers now, because for the most part, the Jaeger system, for the most part, is kind of not really needed anymore. They closed the rim, so there's no need for it. And that's how the movie kind of starts. It's the one girl building her own Jaeger. Right, which is dangerous for people, because then people get hurt. And so he also creates this other thing, though, that I thought was going to heal them, but they're almost like nanobites. To the kaiju, they're nanobites. To us, they're like probably, 5-foot tall weird spider creatures. And they help fuse all 3 of these kaiju together to this one gigantic badass beast. Yes, it was so cool. Yeah. No, it doesn't, and it was kind of clever, too, in that regard, too, because that's not what you thought. Like, again, watching the trailer, you're just like, Jesus, they hit it, and then it heals itself into this bigger, badder thing, and you're like, I mean, that thing must have been taking a beating before they could kill it, and then it mutated, and you're watching the movie itself, and you're like, that's not what happens. This is way cooler than what actually happens in the trailer, or what they make you think in the trailer. And thank God for it. Mm-hmm. Okay. I thought they were controlled by, like 5 or 10 scientists in their base or something. Oh, no, you're right. And, yeah, because it killed all of them. They did show one shot of the lab where there was, multiple guys, and when the drones all started mutating into the Jaeger, the kaiju Jaegers, they're so... Damn. Okay. Mm-hmm. with a precursor brain. Yeah. Ooh, that's a good point. That's a good starting point. And that would explain how they could possibly get Charlie Day out, because he gets captured by the end. Yeah. But here's the thing. I mean, with Boyega, I don't know if they would, which makes me say, I think the kids cast would probably jump at the chance to do that, which I'd be fine with. Yeah. Well, do you think? I kind of feel like there's a part of me that wants to believe that it's Bern Gorman, who plays Gottlieb, and I kind of feel like him and Day would possibly return. I feel like Charlie Day would be way more open to return than Eastwood or Boyega, and that's okay. So I watched the first part of the Zen Diaries of Gary Shandling, and Gary writes about Harvey Korman for like a hot second. And it led to, again, it ended up not being what I thought it was going to be about, but it made me go down another wormhole on YouTube about Harvey Korman, which is Korman wanted to be the star of his own vehicle, and so he left the Carol Burnett show, and then he regretted doing that because people always saw him as the second banana. It doesn't mean that he wasn't funny, that he wasn't good, but it took him a long time to get over the fact that I'm either good in a large group of people or in a two-man team. No one will ever just come out to see Harvey Korman as Harvey Korman. It's just not what's going to happen. And all he had was his work, which that's the part that led into the Gary Shandling part, which was Harvey told him that all he had in life was his work, and he's not happy. And so that led Gary down the questioning path of what is happiness, and not to say he wasn't already doing that already, but it's something he wrote about, and it bothered him a great deal. And I kind of feel like there's some actors that if they can get to that place where they're okay with being second banana, like they're a character actor, I feel that's way better for them as a career choice, because then I feel like they just keep doing the movies like that, and they keep getting parts that, because at the end of the day, you can still get a great following doing roles like that. Yeah. Is that the son of Kurt Russell? Okay. I don't think what other stuff has he been in? Hold on. No, I saw the trailer. It's with Audrey Plaza, right? Okay, because I keep seeing the trailer for it, and it's one of those things where I want to see it, and then something just goes, I don't know, I don't know, I just get weird cold feet about movies, like indie movies now. I don't know why. Okay. He was in Cowboys and Aliens? What? That's what I'm reading Wikipedia real quick because I just saw a picture of him and was like, I'm not aware of him as I probably should be. But Ingrid Goes West, Table 19, Shimmer Lake, Goon, Last of the Enforcers, and then he has Blaze and Overlord coming out this year. What's Table 19? I'm checking this now. I did want to see that. With Anna Kendrick, Craig Robinson, where they're all on Table 19 at the wedding. Yeah, I did. I remember I wanted to see that a good deal. Is he like the love interest for, what's her name? Oh, he's the guy getting married. Okay. Well, the problem is I'm going to want to read the synopsis. I'm going to get away from that page real quick. Okay. He was also, again, 22 Jump Street. He played the role of Zook. I don't remember that. Well, I didn't remember. He has, and I can kind of see that now. Folk hero and funny guy, Ingrid Goes West, Table 19, Shimmer Lake. So that sounds like his career. Yes, yeah, which, man, I mean, well, and he was a former hockey player. That's what his thing says, so, which I didn't know. But, I do like, in Soldier, he played a young version of Kurt Russell, which I thought was really interesting and weird for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, I do like it. He was a drug PSA stoned teenager in the movie High School, as per Wikipedia here. Yeah, role drug PSA stoned teenager. We are. Matter of fact, yeah, I know. Well, we should just really call this Pacific Rim Rabbit Hole, aka Pacific Rim Uprising. But what else? I mean, because the movie isn't bad. It's not it's not as good as the first one, but it's just a really decent movie with a lot of great stuff in. That's true. Yeah. Well, I remember when we saw each other Saturday morning, before we all both saw the film. The impression I got from you was like, this will not be a great movie. We will probably. And I'm not gonna lie, right when you said that, I was like, oh, now I'm worried. I'm not gonna like it. And so I guess maybe that helped me lower my expectations a bit. And I walked out going, not as good as the first one, but I really enjoyed it. Like, I enjoyed the movie. I would gladly see it again. Now, I do wonder how I would stack up a second time seeing it in the theater, especially with that long intro, because now I wonder if I would go, oh, okay, I know it, oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, does it really? Well, then, shit. Yeah. Well, I also felt like John Boyega's character, Pentecost, was like he was trying to be too cool, because it showed him partying with all the women or whatever, and I was like, Boyega wanted this scene in here, for sure. Well, they kind of go into how the state of the world is like you have to barter to survive. But granted, and they don't really make it super clear that he's gone outside. The reason he's doing the bartering, though, is because he got kicked out of... And again, I get the mystery, they wanted some mystery behind that, but they don't talk about, like, how disgraced... Well, they do eventually do the, you're a disgraced pilot and blah, 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 which, weird dialogue. But I don't know, like, it wasn't very clear, like, I felt like... Because I was like, is the whole world going to shit now? Like, is everyone bartering with everybody because... they killed the kaiju. Like, that's weird to me. And it's like, oh no, it's mostly people who are homeless or just that are not, whatever, they're just in the weird situation that he's in, per se. Yeah, which, that didn't bother me as much, but it threw me off for a second. But, yeah, like, maybe just start off with him, I hate this trope now too, but if you do it right, you can do the whole thing where he's sneaking onto the base and goes, do the whole, so, this is my day, and what they do it in Thor, Ragnarok. You make fun of the trope, kind of like they do, and then do the flashback, and then it just feels, and then keep cutting back and forth. I don't know, something, there's just so many different, you mean in the trailer, like, or just in? Oh no! Yeah. I think it was the last one, the Jurassic World, where it's the very beginning of the movie. You see this foot land, and you realize it's a crow's foot, and you pan out, and it's at the house of the family or something. Yeah, that would be really cool. Yeah, I agree. I agree. That would have been way better. Yeah, that would be... Oh, man. That would be way cooler than how they ended it up. I mean, yeah, because... Yeah. Oh, man. I agree. I agree 100% with that. Right. Or, I mean, there's other ways they could have done some of that, and even if it would have been just as cheesy as some of it was in the movie anyway, but you could have had other characters regurgitate that, because that's usually what happens in a movie. The other characters do the typical, especially in a big action movie like this, usually it's the other character, a general of some sort, or Mako, whoever, is just going, your father saved the day 10 years ago, he died saving the world, and you got kicked out, or whatever, Pilot, Mako, whatever your name is, so you don't, see, actually, yeah, so they could have just cut that shit out. I feel like they just wanted to show that shot of what's his name, of Idris Elba as Pentecost, where you go, I liked him, he gave me good feelings from the first movie, and then you're like, oh, it's not him. Well, yeah, thanks to Crispin Glover, but yes, yeah, they totally do. But, and look, he's probably like, I'll make some sweet money. I don't, because he's Australian now, apparently in my version. He's like, I'll make some sweet money. Thanks. I like that. They did use Australia in this movie, like in particular, which I like that because they did a nod to that in Godzilla Final Wars, where Godzilla killed Gino, the American Godzilla. Godzilla in name only is what they call him in Japan, Gino. Like, he hits him with his tail and breathes fire on him, and Gino just blows up and kills him like 5 seconds. Yeah, that's the really bad one. That's why it's really funny they call him Godzilla in name only, and I was like, it really is kind of, but, is Wheeler a huge Zilla fan? Huge, oh man, I should get him and do the next Godzilla movie then, because I really, well man, I thought Kong Skull Island was okay, it was way better than it deserved to be. in general, like but the Godzilla I liked a lot just because, well, it had a lot of problems, but like they rebuilt the. True. Well, I felt like Godzilla. Like, here's the thing. Like, if you look at Peter Jackson's King Kong, you can tell it's a passion project. And the problem is that every character has a well-told arc in that. And to me, I like that because I like well-told arcs. Is it long as shit? Yes. And that is a problem. But I walk away going, every character in that movie had a really good arc for the most part. The only one that I didn't like was Colin Hanks, but apparently it got cut out because it was already too long. And I'm like, well, whatever. I would like to see that version of the movie someday, probably, but I walked away going, well, I walked out giving a shit about the monkey. I cared about every single character in that film, especially hating Jack Black, which is, I think, was the point. And Godzilla, it's just like, remember that last time Godzilla showed up in American theaters that wasn't a Japanese movie and you hated it? Well, we need to get that goodwill back because I think people in general like Godzilla, but they don't like everything else. And then it's like, and then when you watch it again, you're just like, oh, all the human stuff for the most part sucks. But the buildup of Godzilla was amazing. And I feel like, so my worry though is that they said they want to try to do something similar because it's a budget issue. And that worries me a bit because you're going to have like 4 monsters. Like, was it Mothra, Rodan, King Ghidorah, and Godzilla? And you're going to not have them in the movie as much. And I'm like, ooh, that's not going to work as well. I mean, because the first one was all about building it up to look, make the last bit of the movie. It's like Jaws. You don't see the shark until the end. I don't think that's going to work this time. But, sorry, weird Godzilla nerd moment. But hey, it ties in because they're kaiju. Which, that threw me off, too. When I was younger, I found Godzilla was a kaiju. I was like, what's a kaiju? It's like, oh, no, it's a gigantic monster that attacks cities. And I was like, yeah, and I wonder if that was done for time, because they spent so much time doing that fucking intro. Yeah. Okay, did you think that the Russian chick got killed when the monster snapped that in half? Oh, like she went, like, down as in she died, or, like, she ejected out? Oh, yeah, I kind of did too. And then when she shows up, I was like, yay, lady, you survived. I didn't think that happened, but okay. Well, but... Oh, yeah. Yeah, in terms of the Jaeger fight. Yeah, you're right, because the rest of them all died. Yeah. Can we also point out the trope they did not do, which is they didn't put the Russian chick and the one girl that Boyega found together? Because I thought that's totally what they were going to build to. Is they were going to have to pair together and drift together to drive a Jaeger, and I'm so glad. And they did, but not really. And I was just like, thank God though they really didn't have to work on that. Now I will say my only complaint that my wife had was she's like, that girl can barely do a giant Jaeger. She can't drift with anyone but Boyega, and even then she's having difficulty. But then at the end she just is able to. Like, they don't ever show her officially getting over that hump. She just does it because she needs to. And I was like, and she's just like, that kind of sucked. I was like, you're not wrong. I wasn't thinking of that while it was happening because I was like, monster fight? Yay. But she's not wrong. I kind of wish. But again, I'm thinking something got deleted. I don't know. Well, oh man, see, that's the thing. As I just said with King Kong, I'm fine for a longer movie, but I also really like the monsters. So I don't know. But again, if they could just cut out more of the intro, I'd be a happy man. That's true. Yeah. You really didn't. Well, again, I think the throwing in of the Jaeger was a nice twist on things because, yeah. And then when you saw that it was the second kaiju brain in there, and you're just like, what the fuck? And then right when that happened, I was like, oh, so we're going to fight Jaegers in this movie. Maybe is it a flashback? But then when they have the kaiju show up anyway, officially, you're just like, oh, even better. Yes. But then I was just like, wait, there's only like, 4 Jaegers and three Jaegers and a whole bunch of drones, and this is going to be a not fair fight. And then it becomes a fair fight. But, oh, it was so... I really enjoyed it. Yeah, they did. Right, and the last two kind of feed into each other. Like, it's almost like the prologue, and then you get to the main battle, and then the epilogue to everything is Charlie Day, John Boyega giving that kind of weird speech to Charlie Day, like, we're not done, we're going to take you out, whatever it takes. And I'm just like, an excellent. Well, here's the thing: it is cool that he did it, but you're not wrong at all in any way, shape, or form. It's just like I got brain damage, but I gotta climb up these stairs, move both legs, and focus. Or, I mean, because I think it would have been funnier too if he knocked him out, sit his ass in badass, side character action movie line, and then he goes, "Oh, I have wounds," and passes out, or something, just because it's like, oh, I climbed a flight of stairs, and yeah. But, I mean, I would gladly see this movie again. Again, I think the biggest part was the intro for time, and they could have done that better, and I think that would have started the movie off, for me, way better into going, yes, John Boyega, Harrison Ford movie star, which is how you felt, though. I feel like if they would have done that, I think that maybe would have fixed it for me. See, that's good. I think that just threw it off for me, and that's all I was thinking of. That's the only thing I can think of, because I do like Boyega. Like, I think he's a charming... I mean, a lot of people who even enjoy these new Star Wars movies, they feel Finn is the weaker character, and I'm like, I like Finn. I think he does I like Boyega. It's because of Boyega. He has a nice little charm to the character. I mean, because he doesn't get to talk as much. It has to be through the charisma of the actor, and I feel Boyega brings it. So, well, that's all we have for this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Geeky. You can check out, we did, and tons of other stuff too. You can check out Erik's stuff at eriksternberger.com, right? Yep. You can check out sketches, and one of my more... I haven't read them in a bit, but when you post them, I tend to enjoy it. It's how I would have done it differently. Oh, that was the last one. Okay, see, I didn't see that one yet. I saw the one for Alien and Fantastic Four are some of my other ones I've read, and they're, again, really good. Yeah, so... Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So, actually... Yeah. So, if he ever decides to do one for his blog, guys, you're getting it here first. Early thoughts on how he would do that. So, but if not, it's on the podcast here, which yay for you. So, again, eriksternberger.com. Links will be in the show notes. And if you like our show, subscribe, email us, goodbadgeeky@gmail.com, Twitter us at goodbadgeeky. And Erik, thank you, and thank you all for listening.
Get out of here without cheese! You're a creep! Go away! We're having a good time until you showed up, cheapers! Go have some coffee with cream or something! Because I'll tell you something! This is a happy place!